You know her face. The most beautiful woman who ever lived. You know nothing. The real story is filthier. She married her 10-year-old brother, had her own sister killed, drank a fortune to win a bet. Two of the most powerful men alive ended up in her bed and both died for her. This is Cleopatra. What she really did, Rome spent 2,000 years trying to bury.
Femme fatale histories. The women history called wicked, and what they actually did. Tonight, Cleopatra.
Forget the desert. Look at the map. One power is swallowing the world, Rome. And one last prize still stands free, Egypt. Guarding it, a 21-year-old girl with no army. Her only weapon, herself. Egypt, 48 BC. 21, locked out of her own throne, Cleopatra makes a mad bet. She has herself rolled in a carpet and smuggled, as a gift, into the bedroom of the man who rules Rome, Julius Caesar.
Into his bedroom. Rolled in a rug. As a gift.
What happened that night, no one wrote down. Only that the lamp burned late, and by the time it gutted out, the most powerful man alive belonged to her.
She was 21, he was 52. Had she even known a man before that night, or?
Everyone wonders. Nobody gets to know. One night. By morning her brother was drowned in the Nile, and she was queen. She gave Caesar a son, and a leash running Rome through the man who ran Rome.
That's an operator. That's a serious operator.
And then Rome put 23 knives into Caesar.
Oh no.
Her protector, gone. A lesser woman runs. Cleopatra just picked the next most powerful man in the world.
Ugh, she swaps him out? Body's not even cold?
His name was Mark Antony. She didn't beg, she summoned him. Sailed to him as the goddess of love, gold barge, purple sails, perfume you could smell from shore, reclining half-dressed while a whole city ran to stare. Antony, drowning in her the moment he saw her, never came up for air again.
What did she do to these men?
The gossip of the age, she bet she could spend a fortune on a single dinner. She dropped one pearl, worth a Roman province, into sour wine, let it dissolve, and drank it.
Wait, that's the bet? Drinking an expensive pearl?
That's the flex. I can waste more in one swallow than your empire earns in a year, and Antony couldn't top it. He was hers. 10 million sesterces, a year's wages for a whole legion, hissing away in sour wine and gone between courses. Not because she was thirsty. To show that Rome's money was beneath her. Here's what the films leave out. Cleopatra wasn't Egyptian. Not a drop. She was Greek, the last of a Macedonian line that ruled Egypt as foreign kings for 300 years.
So the Queen of Egypt isn't Egyptian.
Her family kept the crown in the family, literally. Brother married sister, generation after generation. Cleopatra's own husband was her 10-year-old brother.
Wait, married to her little brother. Did they have kids?
No record. The marriage was paper, the boy was decoration. She was busy with Rome.
Oh, thank God. I just pictured something I can't unpicture.
Her father killed a daughter. And her sister Arsinoe, a rival for the throne who'd crowned herself and taken up arms against her. Rome dragged Arsinoe through the streets in chains, so pitiful the mob turned on it. A few years later, Cleopatra had her murdered on the steps of a temple.
Her own sister. On temple steps.
Cleopatra had asked for it. Her own sister, dragged from the altar of a temple where she had begged the gods for sanctuary, and cut down on the steps. In the ancient world, there was no blacker crime. So ask yourself, is that seduction? Or survival, in a court that taught one lesson, rule or be removed? And she was drowning. Her family owed Rome 17.5 million drachmas, years of a province's taxes. Her body was foreign policy. And for 20 years it worked. It ended in war. Antony's rival was Caesar's cold young heir, Octavian. He knew you can't win Rome's love by fighting a Roman. So he declared war on a foreign queen instead. At Actium, 31 BC, mid-battle, Cleopatra's ships suddenly turned and ran, abandoning the fleet, the battle, Antony himself.
She left him in the middle of the battle.
And when she saw he was finished, she cut him loose, the way you'd throw out a soiled undergarment.
She doomed him at Actium and never looked back. That's not a lover. That's a general cutting her losses.
She shut herself in her tomb and sent Antony word that she was dead. He believed it, and fell on his own sword, dying, the sources say, over her lie.
She made him do it.
Then she turned her last weapon on Octavian, the tears, the voice, the upward glance. For the first time in her life, it failed. The ice-cold air just looked away. Out of moves, she chose to die on her own terms. She'd studied death for years, testing poisons on condemned prisoners, watching which killed most gently, so the stories say. Nightshade, hemlock, the cobra's bite. She fed each to a different condemned man and sat close enough to watch, noting which death came quickest, which twisted the body, and which let the face stay calm, as if only sleeping.
So that's why she picked the snake. For herself.
A venomous asp in a basket of figures. She died a queen at 39 rather than kneel in a Roman parade. 3,000 years of pharaohs died with her. And Octavian was not done. Too many Caesars, he said, and had the boy hunted down. Caesar on 17, the son of the two most powerful people of the age, Caesar and Cleopatra. 3,000 years of pharaohs did not end with her. They ended with her son.
So he erased the whole bloodline. Cold. You keep saying the stories say.
Because even her death is a story we should hold lightly. No snake was ever found. And the man who needed the legend most is still alive. So why is Cleopatra the seductress and not the strategist who held Rome off for 20 years? One man's need to look good. Octavian. He became Emperor Augustus and owned the history books. He couldn't admit he'd fought a war of pure ambition against a Roman, so Rome's writers went to work. They painted her the drunk, insatiable Eastern witch who bewitched a good Roman soldier and tried to topple Rome from a bedroom.
And nobody ever calls Antony a seductress. He's the one who threw away an empire.
That's the trick. A man burns down an empire and we say she was irresistible. Because the truth, she was simply the cleverest person in the room, was the one thing Rome could never write down. Cleopatra was the first to wear that mask, never the last. Meet her sisters in infamy. Rome bred the next one, Livia, wife of the very man who called Cleopatra a monster. Rome whispered she poisoned her way through her own family, one funeral at a time. Syria, Zenobia, a warrior queen who tore the east from Rome by the sword, and, some say, murdered her own husband to take his throne. Constantinople, Theodora, a circus girl the chronicles call something far filthier, who clawed from the gutter to the throne and had her enemies quietly disappear. Tang China, Wu Zetian, the only woman to rule as emperor, who the historians swear strangled her own baby daughter to frame a rival.
It really is the same story every time. Powerful woman, 3 words.
Wicked. Seductress. Monster. The same mask, pressed on any woman who dared hold power. Which brings us back to the face under Cleopatra's. So here's what the slander buried. In 39 years, 2 lovers. Caesar and Antony. Both alliances, not conquests. Not the 9-a-week monster Rome sold you. She spoke 9 languages, reformed the currency, fed her people. And her face. On her own coins she is no goddess, a strong nose, a jutting chin, a sharp, clever, entirely human face.
So, what kind of woman did you picture when we started?
A woman who married a child, killed her siblings, drank a province, and outplayed the 2 greatest men of her age, and history remembers a pretty snake charmer. That is the con. That is the mask. Here's the strangest part. The woman Rome spent centuries branding a monster. Look at how we draw her now. Elizabeth Taylor, 1963, one of the most expensive films ever made, built around her as a luminous, doomed romantic heroine. Claudette Colbert had played her all glamour and wit. Even Osamu Tezuka animated her, in Japan.
Wait, so nobody makes her the villain?
Almost no one. In Assassin's Creed she's a brilliant, dangerous player you fight beside. In Fate, a proud and tragic spirit. In Civilization she leads a whole empire to glory. Even in Asterix she's the glamorous, sharp-tongued queen, never the demon Rome described.
So the propaganda just lost?
Over 2,000 years, yes. Strip away the Roman spin, and what modern eyes keep rediscovering isn't a wicked seductress. It's a beautiful, brilliant, doomed queen, the last pharaoh, who played a losing hand better than any man at the table. History called her a villainess. Almost nobody believes it anymore.
2 lovers. 9 languages. 1 mask the world still can't stop trying on. That was Cleopatra. Next time, another woman history called wicked. Tell me below, did she love them, or use them?